Ya la 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 la, hi la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya ma 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 ma. Yo ya la 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 la. Ya ya la 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 la. Ya ya la 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 ya. Ya la 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 la. Ya da da la la la. Hi da 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 da. Ya da da ya da da ya. Oops. Ya la 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 la. La la la. How do I? Da da da. There we go. Ya da 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 da. It's live streaming. It's amazing. Ya la 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 ya da da ya da da hey ya da 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 da. Ya ya la 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 ya la ya la ya la ya ya la 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 ya ya la 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 ya la da da ya ya la 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 oh. Da 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 ya da 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 ta da 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 da. La 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 la. Ya ya la 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 la. Ya ni la 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 la. Ya la 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 di di di. Di la 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 ya la 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 la. Di la 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 ya. Da 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 ba 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 hey da 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 hey da 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 ya da 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 hey da 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 ya da 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 ya ya la 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 ya ya la 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 da da ya ya la 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 ya ya da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Hey, Bezos Hashem Yisbarach. Maybe now we can turn off the heat. You see that clicker on the second shelf? Now I'm overheating already. Chaim l'chaim. Yeah, it's nice, right? That's special.
It's like a winter thing.
Yeah, it's a special thing.
It's so warm. You felt?
Yeah,
It's warm, right?
no,
Warm nigga.
something else. Another
It's like a hibernation.
another world. Baruch Hashem. Shlomo is still standing Chidushim. So we're going to look at some more Likutei Halachos today from Rav Nassan. It's one I've never really done, and we're just going to explore it together. Purim Dalid. Purim Dalid. And it's based on Torah Lamed Gimel, Torah 33, and Likutei Moran. And he says, Haklal ki maloch la'aretz kavodo v'yuma malech cholamin v'soiviv cholamin v'leis asar ponim minei v'il be'im ke haklipas yichom imtzaos Hashem Yisbarach. That the general rule is that, Pinchas, the general rule is Shulam, Shulam. The general rule is that Hashem surrounds the worlds and fills all worlds. And there is no place that is empty of Hashem. And even in the depths of the klippas, you can find Hashem. Right? In Kabbalah, klipa is the word for evil or negativity. Klipa means like a shell or a peel. And it's a very interesting thing the Gemara in Brachas is discussing what's a fruit and what's a klipa in terms of the laws of Orla. Things that are only klipa are not subject to the laws of Orla. It has to be the fruit, the fruit. How do you know what's a klipa and what's the fruit? And the Gemara says that the klipa is something that if you would take it away, the fruit would die. The fruit would die. If you would take the klipa off, the fruit would die. We're getting close to Shvat. Tu B'Shvat is coming.
So
The
prerequisite.
The prerequisite, yeah. So there's a the klipa is a shomer to the pri. It holds it, it guards it, really. And Nassan's talking about imke haklipas. He is summarizing Torah 33. That there's imke haklipas, there's like depths of klipa where it really feels like the Hashem is so hidden, right? And really, Leisas Arpanum Minei, the Zohar Kodesh says, there is no place that is empty, that is devoid of Hashem. And not only that, Yecholim Limtso at Hashem Yisbarach, you can actually find Hashem there. Just this finding is a different kind of a finding than the regular finding. Like a sunset, or a good piece of Torah, the smile of a friend. There are certain things that are clear, right? And then there's imke haklipas, where situations that are so hard. And And even there, Yecholim Limtzos Hashem Yisparach Mishakofes Yitros like Shemadabre Magoyim Oroa Masayim Azaharan Nofel V'Nisbatel Kenegdo V'Nisgal Hatov Shal Nelam Sham L'Dei Zoichim La'ava Shebedas. There's this that when we learn little by little to rein in our Yetzer, we have a restless part of ourselves that's trying to figure everything out and trying to have some sense of control and some kind of pleasure from this world. And when we can rein it in, Kofes, Yitzro, so then things change. You see, so long as it's just all about me, we were learning last week, I think, I forgot if we said it in the Purim Shir, a different year, the Ishbitzer, the Beis Yaakov says, when does a baby know that its mother is a separate being from it? Because the first time we spoke about this, that the first time the mother is late giving the baby milk, that the baby thinks that it just cries and milk comes in. It thinks that it's causing the milk to come in. It means, what's that?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Except that there's another being choosing to be there for it, right? And then it understands that it's loved and it's not just a mechanical cause, right? It's a love. It's a connection, right? And but this is the issue: is that the Yetzer wants to fill everything up with ego, with self. And when you're koife your Yetzer, when you make room, amazingly, when you make room to listen, then suddenly you can look at things around you and they have a different meaning. You can hear Hashem. Rav Shlomo used to love darshaning English words, atonement, at one-man, and Zalman also, right? That to find, and the Gemara also does it. The Gemara also does it with Persian words here and there, also like in Bava Basra. The Gemara does that, and Rabbi Nachman speaks about this, that the languages, all the languages in the world, even when these languages are sometimes harsh and the cultures are heavy and there's so much competition and pain and etc. But you can get these messages like straight from heaven, like these incredible things. You look at like a sign in an airport and like, oh my gosh, the Shekhinah is talking to me like through this thing. Yeah, it's very Purim. Yeah.
I heard that different languages developed because the resonance of the area produced
That makes sense.
the sounds that people need to bring out
Stay in that place.
in those areas. You know, like people didn't think of, all right, so over here we're gonna say cup,
Right.
but it came from the essence of the area that they were
Like
living.
an ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the ecosystem. Those sounds.
Yeah.
Gewaldic. I love it.
But it's connected to the animals in the place also.
The animals too, the sounds the animals make, the sounds the birds make, yeah.
What the humans started making.
Yeah. So he says, and Zoich, so now when you can start to hear these messages from like the depths, from places that are like the furthest from Torah, and oh yeah, the source. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm gonna put the source in the chat. 1 second. Well, if you just type in Likutei Halachot Sefaria, and you go to Orach Chaim, and you go to Purim number 3, at the beginning, that's where we are. Purim Gimel.
Number 3 or 4?
Oh, 4. Thank you. Purim Dalet. Gewalt, I'm already gone. So yeah. Goodbye with a little help from my friends. Like they said,
Can you say that one more time?
Purim number 4. So Likutei Halachot Sefaria, and then under Orach Chaim, and then you scroll down until you see Purim and click on it, and then it'll say Purim Aleph, Purim Bet, Purim Gimel, or Purim Daled. And so it says, "Vaydize zech la'ava shebedas." Ki yesh shnei minei ahavos yesava shu b'yomim b'chinas chesed yom ha'azal im kula yomin v'yesh ava shu l'malam ha'yomim l'malam ha'midos. There's one love that's called chesed that like is one of the 7 sfirot that is called ahava shebiyamim. It's the love that is within days, within time, within measurement. And then there's another love that's not sfirat hachesed, it's like something else above the whole thing. It motivated the whole thing. It's called ahava shebedat, the love that is in consciousness. Ahava shebedat. V'yesh ahava shu l'mala me'ayamim, l'mala me'hamidos, v'hi ahava shebedat, shu b'chinas haraisa, tikas tima, da'asida lizgali lazilavo. That is the Torah, the separated, hidden one that will one day be revealed to the world. And even though it's reserved for only one day, chol adam yachol lit'om tam or ha'ava shebedas. You can taste it even now. You can taste it even now. Right? By connecting your heart to your own dat. On the one hand, it's God's ahava shebedat, and Rabbi Nachman says there that what it means is, it's like the love that a parent has for their child before they're even conceived. There's a love that motivates the child, the existence of the child, and that's Hashem's love that motivated all of creation. Is not the love that is one of the midot within creation, where you're having a good day, you're having a bad day, you're sensing Hashem's love, you're not sensing Hashem's love. It's the love that motivated the entirety of the thing. Yeah, 4:1. You should see it there. We just got to right before Vahine, which is maybe the second paragraph. So, what was the last thing I said?
The love that motivated the whole thing.
Right. Which includes your bad days, right? Even though I don't sense Hashem's love in the bad days. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's hidden. The chesed, I can't find chesed today. It's all gvura. Just to put things very simply, it's always, levels upon levels. But there's an ahava shebedat that is the context of the entirety of the whole thing.
We almost use Hashem's, the experience of Hashem's love and the experience of Hashem himself or itself like interchangeably or synonymously. Like when we say that, feel of hastara, hastara, levada gam shem nimtza kodesh. What I mean is like I'm not feeling very loved by Hashem right now or by or today. So it's kind of like if you felt Hashem's love, you would feel Hashem because you feel and experience the void of Hashem's love. You don't feel His presence. It's like I'm just noticing how we almost use that interchangeably. Like if we were in a loving experience, we would feel God's presence. But when we're in an experience of like wrath or destruction, God forbid, then we're like, oh, God's not here. Something else is here.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's an interesting phenomenon. There's a person.
Would you say that
Hello?
it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Somebody's taking almost
Oh, okay, fine.
Would you say that it's extreme thinking that evil is that gevura? Like I'm a lot of times thinking, why is there such deep evil? Like
Yeah.
so that's like strong gevura from Hashem.
Something like that. I don't know. It's very hard to. Why is there evil? Is too hard. I don't have an answer. It's not supposed to be an answer. One of the reasons I love Rabbi Nachman is he said there are questions without answers. But hey, Shalom Aleichem. How you doing? Halikala. Incredible. Yes, incredible. Geula, it does happen. It does happen. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Yeah. Yeah.
That evil is hurt that gets transformed into action without like feeling the love of God, like without holding it and right, because hurt people. So evil is hurt, and that can be personally, familially, clan, nation,
Right. Yeah, it's one way to understand it from down here, like why it happens and how it happens. Yeah, yeah. Lo pashut, lo pashut. Let's just let Rav Noson's words be with us. V'hinei haTorah hizhira tanu shelo lelech b'chukas ha'akum lisrachek men betachlis harik v'zdam zem. We have a rule. B'chukasem lo seilechu. Chok means a non-understandable thing, right? Ki be'emes, afu pi shebe'emes lamid yichom l'ntzor z'lukus l'zbarach afilu b'tzon tza'akum. Even though we can find Hashem everywhere, even the languages of the non-Jews, and even in their religion, even in even the idol worship itself, fine, Hashem is there too. Ki iyu mechayes kulam. That's Hashem is giving energy to everything. Afu pichen asur lichnos l'sham. Ki yuchal lehitapesh sham machmas riboy haklipa shem rabbi malatoiv. Latoiv mis'alim sham betachlis hahelim. Al ken yuchal litpos beineim chas v'shalom. Be'ikar azhara, hizhira otanu haTorah shelo lelech b'chukaseyim daika. K'shekasev b'chukaseyim lo teilechu. So the Torah specifies, don't go with their chukos, with their unexplained, rules. כי את זה לעומת זה עשה אלוקים, כמו שבקדושה יש שני מיני אהבos, אהבה שבימים, ושם יש בחינס ימי טוב, ימי רע, ויש אהבה שבדעת למעלה מהמוח ומהמידות, ושם הוא בחינס כולה טוב, כי הוא בחינס הרייס עתיקה סתימה, דתיגה ליץ גל יעשי לבו, שבחינס כולה טוב. Chaim. I'm not sure if we should skip all of this and go to the next part or not.
I think it's worthwhile to cover because it's very integral to the Purim experience, which is like utter absence of God's experience.
Yes.
present.
Yes, correct. Thank you. We'll do it. Yeah.
That's the merit of it, is that it's so core to like
100%.
not just what Purim was as it happened, but also
100%. Thank you. Thank you.
live.
Yes, thank you. So good. So basically, what he's saying is, the same way that there's this higher love, and then there's this particular measurable love that we can experience, Ava Shebedas and Ava Shebeyamim. In that same way, on the other side, there's also a darkness that is higher and less understandable, and a darkness that's lower and more understandable. It also has a higher and a lower, right? And that's why the Torah is so strong on saying, don't go in the ways of idol worshippers, particularly in their chukos, in their customs, the way they do things. Don't let that be how you do things, right? Because that's where it's the darkest.
That's lower darkness.
Yeah.
You're saying there's an
No, that is their higher darkness.
That's their higher. Oh, I see. So you're saying a higher
Because
darkness
it's
is
a
actually
hook.
worse than a lower darkness, so to speak?
Yes. Because it's higher in the sense that it's less understandable and therefore darker. Yeah, it's the darkest of the dark. The way that they do the things that they do that don't make sense, that's just because of their avodah zarah, because of their idol worship. Those things are the most the things we have to avoid, right? V'yesh ava shebedas lamala ma'amoch ma'amidos, and so the v'sham chinas kula tov kibun tika v'sham hu lamala. Yef shalom lasig zichlinu or avazois shebedas kamochen zelumat ze b'sitra achra. Just like we have it within these two loves, So too on the other side. Yeshnei bechinas. Yesh bechinas klipa sitrachas bechinas yamim. There's an aspect of negativity that is measurable. That's called yamei ra. It's called like having a bad day, like where or a difficult experience or whatever. That's just part of life. Then keneged yamei tov, and so there's good days and there's bad days. The Led Zeppelin song about it. No, I've had my share. There's a great lick over there, right? Sham yesh bechinas nitzotzos mehayamim v'amiros shenaflu kayidua. In those hard days, there are sparks of good that are in them, right? V'yesh od bechinas sitra achashu kulo rab ein sham shum tov. But there's this other aspect of the other side where it's really, really, really bad, and there's no sparks there, just bad, yeah. Ein sham shum das klal, hainu shehem ksilus v'ragamur. It's total foolishness, real negative, real evil. Ve'en sham shum tov v'shum seichel v'shum nitzas shel kedusha. No spark of holiness. Lakin kol maseim hem b'li shum seichel v'tam afilu shel ta'ut. And so there, even they make no argument. There is no intellectuality. It's just kacha. Just this is the way we do it. You can find, some sparks of goodness in their philosophies and their outlooks and their prayers and etc. There's going to be some good things there. But in the things that they just do because that's kacha, and that's how we connect to X and Y, idol worship thing. On that, what are you going to find there? It's just custom. It's nothing. There's no. What are you going to find there? But the second level, there is no conscious thing to grab onto. There's no spark. That is the very root of the other side, klipa, and this idea we said of peels, klipa. All the other side gets from that place. That's the chukim of idol worship, specifically idol worship. Uvikedusha chukas haTorah, and on the other side of the chukas of Torah are l'malam ha'seichel, they're beyond consciousness also, in the best way. That is this love in the consciousness that will be revealed in the future. It's a great secret, paraduma. No one understands why this mutant red cow can fix the impurity of tumas meis, of death, which is the darkest and most hardest thing, like Rav Soloveitchik said, like when you're in mourning before your loved one is buried, you're completely exonerated from all the positive commandments. And why is that? Because Torah is predicated on the majesty of the human being. And when someone we love dies, we don't have that majesty. So the whole prerequisite of the Torah gets lost, right? And so Hashem gives you a day off. You can't expect for you to do things for me now when this is happening. And that tumas meis is also that death is kind of the ultimate also darkness. And so we have, against that, we have the paraduma, this also inscrutable goodness that heals it, right? That fixes it. That's connected to this love that is behind, that is beyond, that is above. When we're talking about this is that Hashem made it a vacated space. He made it this chalal hapanui in order for us to exist. Created this space. The first divine act was to create space. But that creation of space means limitation, means measurement, which means not everyone can have everything all the time. It means you can't always get what you want. That just means that. That's what we're going to do. It's what it means. And then now that we're here, so like we spoke about many times, there's birth trauma. Birth is anonymous. My name is Leibish. I was born. And it's tough. It's tough. It's always tough. And that first experience of birth is traumatic. It is a sense of disconnect, of abandonment immediately. And yet we remember something before that. We remember the love that was before that. The reason we experience it as a lack is because we remember something, a love that motivated creation itself. Otherwise, we wouldn't even feel it as a lack. Right? Why do we even have the question? Why are we even bothered? Because we have an inner sense of what should be. The Alter Rebbe says, tzedakah comes from the word tzedek, justice, because tzedakah isn't just me being nice to someone. It's the just and right thing is that every human being should be taken care of. That's what's really just. That's what's really just. And we know this, we have this in us very deeply. We have this level, I like to call it the narrator of the soul. Somebody deep down who's telling the story and knows that it's okay. And knows that it's okay. The Breslov Research Institute just came out with their first animated Rabbi Nachman story. You see it? It's like 9 minutes long. They did the one about the jewel that got lost on the way. But they framed it as a grandfather telling his grandchild the story. That the framing of the story is he's sitting in his grandfather's lap and he's telling him the story. That's similar to this idea. We have the grandfather in the Sfirot is related to Atik Yomin. Atik means above time, but also means elder, like old. And this Torah of Atika Stima in the Sfirot we have Partsufim. There's the elder is the Zaidi energy, is this thing, this love that's beyond, that's telling the story. And the whole time, yeah, I was afraid, and that's it, but the whole time I was on my Zaidi's lap, really the whole time, right? Good Purim. It's like, that's the Megillah. Like, we're the whole time we're just in this story. We're just remember that we're in this story, right? That's this place, right? An incredible place. So, but mitzad sheni, while we're in the story, so there's bad days. And the bad days, if you work on yourself, if you remember that there's a mother out there it's not just I cry and it makes it come in. Like, I eventually I grow up and I say thank you and I relate and I don't just, I'm not just focused on myself. I really think about it. Remember people's birthdays. B'ezrat Hashem. Should be zecher to remember birthdays and Shlomo's birthday. It's a big thing to remember birthdays. Like, should be like, like, it's like, it's a big deal, I missed your birthday, but it wasn't so long this month. Happy birthday. Chaim l'chaim. And like mamish, like to remember, to get beyond just how I feel, I'm having a hard day. There's someone else out there, there's like, right? And that, when I do that, I'm going to be able to see. That's this pasuk Rabbi Nachman takes from in Torah Lamed Gimel. B'yom tov heyeh b'tov, u'b'yom ra'ah re'eh. On a good day, be in the good, and on a bad day, look, see. And Rabbi Nachman's saying, you can, to the degree with which you are not just in your own world, and you can, even while you're stuck in darkness, if you're able to just get your head above the water a little bit and see, and throw somebody else a life saver, whatever you call them, then
You're talking about the candies.
what? Yeah, I know. I couldn't remember what you call that. What do you call it? What do you call those things? Whatever.
Preserver.
Life preserver. Like preserve it. Yeah. I don't know. But Shlomo would always say, you saved my life. He said it all the time, mamish. And I don't think he was joking. I think he was so sensitive to the give and take between human beings, you know. Someone said, we were just learning it Sunday, he said, we traversed and we want to reach the moon and all the other planets. He says, the Rebbes and the Tzaddikim, they're busy trying to help one person traverse to the heart of another person, to travel to the heart of another person. It's further distance. It's a further, like from me to you, go out, like to actually make contact, you know? Houston, you know, like, do you read me? You know, like we're all just living in our own worlds, like, you know, like even when I see you, am I really seeing you, or I'm just seeing like my memory of you? You know, like it's crazy, by the way, scientifically, even like how much what we see, it's like we only see like right now like a small percentage, and most of it is the brain filling in like because of what it remembers having been there. It's wild. It's wild. Same thing with sound. It's crazy. To actually just be present is really not simple. And then to actually see another person, actually connect with it. Shalach Manas is going to talk about Shalach Manas, Purim, Shalach Manas, to travel over to the other person, for them to travel, send something to me, to realize, to interconnect in this incredible way, right? So this is on the one hand. Yes, Yom Ra'ah Re'eh Gewalt. Look on those bad, but don't, within this story, don't swim too hard into the deep end, because there, right, there's chukas hagoyim. There we have a mitzvah. Be careful. Some of the stuff of the story in this world, you could get to a point where you forget that you're in a story. I keep saying it a million times. This is another way of understanding it, right? That across the street from my house, you know this? I told you this. That across the street from my house, Andy was just saw it in Camp Shabbos. Across the street from my house, there's they put up right after October 7th. They still didn't take it down. They put up a translation of Vehisha Amda. Vehisha Amda, right? There's not only one who stood up to destroy us, and instead of writing destroy, they wrote de-story. This is like the most absolutely, what's the word I like to call it? Glorious typo. It's a glorious typo. It's so glorious. But that's the thing, right? The chukas hagoyim, the danger of getting stuck in nonsensical idol worship ways of being, where the darkness is so dark that there you could forget that you're in the story, right? There you could get de-storied, chas v'shalom, right? There you could lose touch with Atik Yomin, with the Zaidi energy that is within you, within the narrator of the soul, within this higher sense that remembers the love from before. And we get stuck just in the cry of abandonment, of the birth trauma and all the different traumas. We get stuck there, and all we know is that, and it's heavy, right? So this is what Purim has to heal this, right? Well, can he cry chuka k'mo she'anu roim shechukaseim and bli shum tam klal ki hem bechina zu, right? In the nations of the world, in the idol worship world, this exists. This non-logical thing. This is this next level of shell, of peel, that's really thick. There's all bad, and there's no seichel. Soa mamesh moisris gomor shein b'shum tov zibras say tomar lo zibras ki kol he'amim elilim daika ki elil lashum davar she'eno ki hem elil gamur she'en b'shum tov. It's real nothingness, like vaken ein sham shum tam v'seich vaken ikraim chukas ha'akum. Remember the never-ending story? Did you go with that? Never-ending story. Remember that? Did you go with it? No? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's Kadai. It's a Kadai movie to see. And there's this kid and there's this book and when you start reading it, you go into the story. And then there was this nothing that was coming, the nothing. Remember the nothing? And it was coming and just eating up all of reality until all that was left was the princess. And she looks at him with these eyes and says, we need you. The boy reading the story is like, we need you to give me a new name. It's like incredibly beautiful. Like to see this thing.
That's like Kabbalah.
Yeah, it's mamish super. It's a super high book.
That's like one of her. I mean, like Lahav deal maybe, but it's like that sounds like a Rebbe Nachman stuff.
Mm-mm. It's a gewalt, really a gewalt. So the nothing can be so nihilism, the emptiness, once it gets in, it can be really like cancerous. Something really just eat us all up because it's there's real danger out there. There's real danger out there.
It reminds me of like the Jews who didn't come out of Israel. They were stuck in Choshech, like that
Yeah.
absolute darkness.
Darkness.
None of the rituals they did had redeeming qualities, and the Mitzrayim were nihilists. They worshipped the
Nile.
Nile.
Yes, next level. Good for him. Uksenofal l'sham chas v'shalom azay ein somech biyado. We can be there and really lose our footing, mamish. L'char she'ein sham shum nitus de kedusha. L'kein yisira sanator l'frosh midachem l'shrach mitzvot. We have to really. It was like representing. Okay, he's talking about idol worship. We don't have all that much to do with idol worship, but he's saying there is a darker place, right? This nihilistic place that we have to watch out, right? Next, so his base. This is the great strength of the miracle of Purim that Hashem did this great wonder with us in those days. He did such miracles and wonders. That was what Haman was busy with, to bring in this next level darkness. His thing, he made himself into a idol worship, and he wanted to just completely extinguish chas v'shalom, real genocide, right? Ki ein sham shum nitzatz mikdushas Yisrael klal. Ki ein sham shum tov. And okay, I'm skipping a bit. Lo hayam me'olam eis tzar kazu. We never had such a great trouble that to ever come upon Am Yisrael. Ki kulam lo ratu lechalot legamrit Yisrael kamo zeh rasha aman. No one ever wanted to completely wipe us out till 70 years ago. And therefore he thought that no one's going to be able to be saved from me because I'm coming from the great darkness of all of reality. Even this great darkness is somehow getting its life energy from Hashem, so to speak. Everything comes from Hashem. As we know from Torah number 12 in the second section of the Kutim around the Torah of Ve'aye Hasela Olah. Shetokef aklipa zitrach mekal mechayis me'kedusha gavoa b'yoser. The malamikol kedushas, it actually gets its energy from a place that is higher than all holiness. Shezos kedusha husasum v'nelam, and it's a hiddenness, it's a holiness that's totally hidden. Bechinas mamar satum, this amazing lashon, mamar satum. A closed up utterance. It's part of the story, but you can't understand it. It's a word that has no sound. It's a it maybe even inarticulated. It's interesting because it's a mimer, but it's not. What it relates to is the Gemara says that Hashem created the world with 10 utterances, And then the Gemara asks, but it only says Vayomer 9 times in Bereshis. And so they say the first pasuk, Bereshis itself, is also a mimer. Bereshis nami mimerhu. Bereshis bara Elokim Hashemayim v'Haaretz, which is the beginning of the story, right? And it's also mamish, a mimer sasum. It is called a mimer, but it's not really a mimer, right? That's where it comes from. And he says, "Ve'azai," I'm skipping a little bit. Gam sham yicholim limtzo lukus yisbarach ki hem gam hem makablim chiyus mimenu yisbarach. V'zay adra v'kshezuch l'shuv misham limtzo sham lukus yisbarach ayidei shezuch leidan shegam sham nista Hashem azay yerida hu tachlis aliyah. Then you'll see that descent itself, when you descend to that place, that descent itself is like the greatest ascent. Because you can access through it a tremendously high kedusha. So hiding behind this unbelievable darkness is this incredible love underneath it. As crazy as that sounds, like crazy, right? By finding godliness even in the depths of the shells, of the peels that are holding the fruit, but that are not nutritious and dangerous. When you find Hashem even there, then you can merit to experience even now this love of consciousness, this love that motivates creation, the love that's beyond. Because so most people are not supposed to go to this place, right? Some of us, we're there anyway, so we need this advice. We need to deal with it, right? And we need to connect to the tzaddik and connect to the nakuda of tzaddik within ourselves, this really, really deeply good place, and be able to look into it and see. And here's this unbelievable thing. One way of putting it that I got from Rabbi Tauber, that you could call it in the craziest way, like the dignity of your journey. The dignity of your journey. There's a darkness that is behind, that is not answerable, and yet you can have a sense of Hashem's care for you within it, because that primordial darkness of Bereshis bara Elokim Hashemayim v'Haaretz, that non-articulable, articulated utterance, is the space within which you can grow and have your own free choice and have your own life within it, without everything being done for you. And this is something that, I'm saying words, but there are no words. It's us to say words. A tzaddik is able to connect through the worst and hardest experiences to the deepest and least answerable questions and experience of the hidden light. You need a great, great tzaddik to still help you and motivate you even when you're there. Part of this is within one person, part of it is sociological. Am Yisrael, we need really great tzaddikim to help us out of this stuff. When we get really stuck in it, we need the big guns. Ushaber klipazu, to break through this. Ulagalot or hakatush agavo or aganuz anal, to reveal this incredible high place, this hidden light. This is what the Nes of Purim is about. Ki Haman Arash Chashav Shalich Yisrael Hinatz Miyad Chashav Machmashis Garbalim B'Tokaf HaKlipas Du Abeis. Aval Hashem Yisbarach Chamal Yisrael V'Hikdim Refuah L'Maka Ki Haibo Sador Mordechai. Right, there's a new level of Adlo Yada between Abraham and Baruch Mordechai. Right, that they're both the same Inyan. Mom is the same Inyan. This higher dark and this higher love. Right. Gewalt. You have to be very drunk to like really relate to this. Or God of a norma od. Vubichinas ava shebedas. Mordechai gematria Rav Chesed. Rav Chesed is where you have the word Chesed, but it's not Chesed of the midos. Rav Chesed is in the Yud Gil midos Arachamim, which is above all the seven regular spirit of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, Malchut. Mordechai is gematria Rav Chesed.
Rav Chesed is like this thing that like is like supra Chesed.
Yes.
It's like the infrared to red or like the ultraviolet in the spectrum. It's like the ultraviolet to violet. Like
something like that.
Stands
Yeah.
above the spectrum.
Above the spectrum. Very good. Yeah. Very nice. Rav Chesed zebchinas avashabadas. Ki avashabayam chinas Chesed ju yom badazim kula yomin. The Rav Chesed is avashabadas is a mala me Chesed stam. The hu bechinas Rav Chesed. The zebchinas Mordechai kanal. Therefore, he was able to break through even the Shem Aleichem. So good to see you, even the place of Haman. Right. Ki haya yodea masig shegam hem mekablim chayus mimenu yisbarach. B'chinas maimer sasu mava shebedas. Ki Mordechai nechas misham aken haya lo hasagazu. Mordechai came from there also, and therefore he was able to go up against it. V'kshezochim lahasig zos shegam hem mekablim chayus mimenu yisbarach b'chinas maimer sasu as I am nischnayim v'nizbatim mitachlis habito. Ki lo haya lehem chiyus rak me'astar v'alama. And this is a very, very amazing thing. Maybe Nachman saying in Torah 12 in the second section of Torah about Aye. The experience of Aye, and this the way Rabbi Nachman puts it, there's not exactly love, it's kavod. Aye makom kavodo. Where is Hashem's honor in this? That's what the question is. And what he says is that at first, your whole life energy, when you're in that darkness, your life energy comes from the hiddenness. I am my pain, right? I am my pain. That's who I am, right? And I become very defensive about my pain. Don't you dare heal it, because I might die, because I am my pain. My whole life is the pain. That is who I am, right? So it's a wild thing because don't you want to heal? Of course I want to heal, but not really, because I am my pain. My whole life energy, everything I do is based on this emptiness, on this darkness, on this lack, on this abandonment, on this story that I have, not a good story, on a trauma story, on a heavy story, right? Everything. And Rabbi Nachman says, when you notice that you're far from Hashem's honor, when a person looks and notices themselves, right? That noticing is everything. How do you get to that noticing? We need lots of good friends, and we need tzaddikim. We need Rabbi Nachman. We need
Rav Chesed.
a nigun. We need Rav Chesed. We need
supernatural reminder that like this sucks.
Right. Just to
This
be
is not
aware.
how life is supposed to feel.
Exactly.
Right, because if you're so in your own pain, then where is the awareness that life is not supposed to feel that way? Where's it going to come from? Except like a burst, like a solar flare of awareness. You know? Where's it going to come from?
Right.
You can't think yourself out of your own problems usually.
Exactly. So you're just in it, and you're locked in your own self, and yet Rabbi Nachman, in that Torah, he doesn't give an eitzah for how to notice. He says when you notice. As kanireh, he's telling you, kanireh, the seder is that people have times where they notice. but they don't know what to do while noticing. They don't know that there's something you can do then. Kandireh, Hashem gives you times where you notice that, wow, I'm in such pain, and is this really what it is? And then you go back to sleep and you're just in it. But every once in a while, kanireh, it just happens. That's just what is coming to me now, because it is interesting that in that Torah usually his whole inyan is giving you eitzas. But the eitzah is after you notice it. K'she'adam mistakel al atzmo v'ro'eh shu rachok mikvodo yisbarach. When? He just says when. The thing is, we don't know what to do when we notice that, because that's what it seems to me is what's going on in that Torah. We don't know what to do when we notice it, because it's just like, okay, great, more pain, Now I realize I'm far from Hashem's honor. Great, bring it on, just feel even worse, and then we collapse back into it. But Rabbeinu is saying there is something you can do then, which is to ask Aye. And doesn't literally necessarily exactly mean with your mouth. He says to be mitzaer Aye. He uses that verb to pain Aye. Whatever that means. That like litzaer Aye. Tzatarik ayin reis. That you but it's directional. There is an arrow pointing to God that's saying, where's your honor in this? Right? Where's your honor? And really, if you look at the prayer on that Torah 12 in the second section, Rabbi Nachman says, what you're also asking is, where is my own soul's honor? Because it's really the same thing, right? On the highest place, Aya Kvodi, Aya Kedushati, Ura Kvodi David HaMelech. So what it means is that what's happening is that I'm asking. What it means is I'm remembering and noticing, right? And this is this very special moment where I'm. The question is because I'm remembering a time before. I'm remembering Atik Yomin. I'm remembering that things should be different. Where does that come from? Because my neshama remembers the love behind all of creation. That's where the question comes from. Why am I even noticing that I'm far? What makes that noticing happen is because I remember something higher. I remember something deeper. And here is the Eitzah. The Rebbe says, cry it out, pain it out, ask it, search. He uses these verbs, mevakesh, mitzaer, mechapes, searching, mamish. There you can actively, and it's a prayer, but it's not normal prayer. Because what you're doing is by courageously emitting this and specifically listening to a tzaddik, to Rabbi Nachman, who's telling you, I know this happens to you sometimes, and here's something you can do. And trusting this voice of the tzaddik that is saying that there is something you can do right now, right? And you ask, and you mitzayer, and you cry out, and you mechapes, right? So, Chaim. So, here. You just need this constant supply of this little drinking problem. But so that nakuda of just crying with Chaim, brother, good to see you. Chaim. It is going to connect you. The act of asking, and it's not an answering, it's not a finding, it is an act of connecting. You're going to become connected to the divine energy that is there in that dark place. And you're going to be disconnecting from the identifying with the pain and connecting in with the incredibly high divine love energy that is the context of all reality. Right? There's something you can do when you notice it. You can do this primal, it's like a shofar. You can do this primal cry of Aye, and you can experience moving. And Rav Nosson gives a imagery for this, that the cities of refuge, the Are Miklat, that you would run to if you kill somebody by mistake, right? So says there were 2,000 amas around the Levite cities. 1,000 was orchards, and another 1,000 was barren land. Says that second 1,000 was the first experience you had of entering into the city of refuge, because that's where the entering into the space of holiness doesn't look like, oh, things changed, things got better, now I made the $1 million, now I know whatever it is. But what it is a deep inner shift from the place of getting my whole life energy from the pain and the emptiness, and into getting life energy from that love. And where does that come from? From an emission of search energy, of prayer, of crying out, of paining out, of asking and searching. And that's called, this Eitzah called Aye. It's a button you can press. It's a thing you can do when you notice that you're far from honor, from Hashem's honor, from your honor. When you notice, like, it can't be that life is really just this, right? There's something you can do. It's called Aye, Makom Kavodo. Really, really incredible. Chaim. And so he says, "V'zeh is Mordechai." So Mordechai is from that place. What did Mordechai do? He went out and cried a great cry, right? Mordechai misham al ken hayelo hasagazu v'kshezorchen lasig zos gam hem kam lachchus yimenis baruch minas maimer sasum as mechlam izvatim. So then immediately when that happens, it becomes different. It's still barren, but you're inside the city of refuge now. It's still completely barren, but you're inside the city of refuge. So Adra v'zorchen lalot b'tachlis haliyah, that you have the greatest, the fall itself is the greatest ascent, because you're zoche to grasp the light of this love. This is incredible greatness of Purim. The Arizal says, "Shebeshum Yom Tov afilu Shabbos lo nimtza toikef he'ara nifla kamo b'Purim." There's no other time where you can get this unbelievable light like you can on Purim. Ki be'emes, Hifli Hashem Yisbarach Imanu v'hisapich mehibur el picho. Hashem really did do enough. Fochu, right? Without supernatural, just within, right? Ki hu ratzah lisgaber Hashem chinas kipa base. Haman was taking his energy from this next level darkness. Vayidei hatzadik Mordechai nishapich behipuch mamesh. And through the tzaddik Mordechai, the whole thing turned over. Ki zachu shizgala ora avash v'das. We got the love that is the higher love. Shemisham kabelis chiyus haklipas kanal migoydel hastar of achshav nizgala or haganus hazeh. Chaim. And he explains, now he goes to explain, we'll just do this last bit and we'll end. Therefore, the days of Purim don't end even in the future. Because all the holidays are a memory of leaving Egypt. And leaving Mitzrayim was leaving under the hands of Paro. And Paro, what's Paro? Paro is the beginning of all of the klipas of this thing, the peels and the shells of alaf pichin ubchinas a klipa through etzel is galos hayom midas. But Paro is the klipa of bad days, of within time, of within measurement. Haman was much higher negative then that's why, like we have a Bilam says, Reishis Goyim Amalek. The Reishis, the height of this negative place of the idol worship of is Haman. He's higher, he's darker than Paro. Paro Osios Ha'oref. Paro, the Arizal says, is the letters Ha'oref, which is the back of the neck. That, right? There's a whole amazing thing of Nasan speaking about in a different place about when you talk, and you can even hear it sometimes in people. Are you talking forwards, or are you kind of talking through the back of your neck? It's a wild, wild thing. The sound is like muffled. It's like this. The it's blocked. There's a blockage, and there's a stuckness. Yeah.
So it seems like she's passed up.
Right. Oh, very nice. V'sham hamakom shematchilim hamochim leirelis pati b'chinas yom v'midos v'sham achizas paro uvada hu klipa chazaka v'kasha ma'od ma'achar she'achizasa b'haschala mamish. Aval hu samach b'chinas yom v'midos. Paro was at a very strong negativity, but it's lower because he's there in the place of measurement. The word midah literally means limdod, means to measure. Aval Haman Amalek hu shorish harav aklipa. But Haman is the very root. Reishis going malach. He brings this pasuk. Ki hu yonik mehastaras v'alamas hadas. His whole thing is he's getting his whole energy from the essential hiddenness, from the birth trauma, from the chalal hapanui, from this experience that we have of Hashem withdrawing the infinite light. And where's Hashem? Maimar sasim she'iyaf shalach nuvadokim shezochim la'ora avos b'das. There's no way to subdue and negate Haman except through this avos b'das, this incredibly high thing. L'malam hayom v'midos is above the days, above measurement. V'alken kol hayamim tovim. Shem b'chinas yemei tov. Haynu sheba'os anu yamim asa Shem yisbarach imanu nisim b'tzias mitzrayim v'chniya yemei ra. So yamim tovim are literally yemei tov, good days, right? Yamim tovim, they're very important. We need them. And yet, when Mashiach comes, and eventually they'll kind of fade away. But because the light then will be so bright, every day will be a good day. But the light of Purim will remain. Lakin anu osim yom tov, alkin la'asid she'aziz gala avash b'dash l'mal me'amyom ken aziz ba'layim tovim. Aval Purim she'b'chinas avash b'dash yazichniu klibas haman amalek shinigod misham. Ken lo yizbatlu yimei Purim gam lasik aziku gam ken ha'arazu henu or avash b'dash hu gam ken ha'ara shel Purim. Because be'etzem, what we're going to experience is going to be basically that very light of Purim itself. So Purim will be even more, even stronger, even greater. Yeah.
Wasn't there evil before Paro?
Sure. Just he personified it at that time, right? And all of the Am Yisrael were under him, right? Yeah. And he goes on and explains this, the tzedakah, that we all connect with each other. What we said before, this inner righteousness, the justice, the truth of love, and everybody supporting each other, being there for each other. And then he says, which is end with this, therefore we have this wild mitzvah to get drunk on Purim, ad lo yada ben Arham Baruch Mordechai, kisham hu lamala me'adas, v'sham ein shaykh lamar Arhaman, kisham hu kula tov, lamala me'amidas lamala, mimei tov yirmei ra, v'zeh b'china soy paraduma, sheb'chuka lamala me'adas. That is this place, the paraduma that is not understandable. So in order to receive this light that is beyond any of our ability to understand, so we have to get beyond our seichel entirely through the drinking. And this relates back to that whole pasuk that Torah is based on, Torah 33. Mi ha'ish chafetz chaim, ohev yamim liras tov. Who is the one who really desires life, loves days in order to see good? What that's talking about is to come back to actually wanting life. That's what Purim is. Coming back to, I want life, I'm excited for each day. I heard from some motivator, I don't know who I heard this from, that it's good for your mind and heart that when you wake up, and I'll just say after you say Moda Ani, then you just say high five. that you, and high five is like, that last hey that's hidden down here, the princess. And she needs a new name. She needs to get high. She needs Purim. She needs get by, get high, for a little help from my friends. Have a good day. Remember, you're in a story. It's good. It's going to be okay. You can love each day. That's what this whole Torah is based on. It's Hashem, it should be Zeicha to wanting life again, loving each day. We can do it. We can do it. And the best way is that when you love each day, liros tov, to do good for another, and when you see that get reflected back to you, when you remember, I'm not just all underwater. I'm not just my pain. There's a whole, there is interconnectedness. There is a love that's behind all of this. And it's Hashem. Chaim v'chaim. That's questions.
Is love said the same thing as Avash?
Yes, that's what he's saying. Yes. Rav Chesed is another way of saying Avash Abadas. Because that's where you see the word Chesed, which is love, in the 13 attributes of mercy, which are above the 7 sefirot. Right? Yeah, that's where all of our kapara, that's where all of our healing comes from. Rav Nosson does it in a different place. That's why the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, he did 1 up and 7 down. The 1 up is the when he was splattering the blood, right? 1 up was this love that's above, and then the 7 down are the midos, are then all the particularities of how things happen in the world, right? 7 up, you could say. And, now we know, you see, in the English language, there's hints and winks from the Shekhinah herself, Mamish. Because the up is actually the 8th one, right? 7 up, right? Wake up, be up. You can do it. Ask Aye, Mamish. Just keep on asking Aye. Because what makes the 7 up good is that it has bubbles. What are the bubbles? Little bits of nothing.
They're also
Little bits of emptiness.
ascending.
And they're going up. They're just going up. In the thing, right? This koifis, yitzro, right? That gives you the geschmack of the flat 7 up. It's like, come on. Right? You got to start asking Aye. You got to start embracing and seeing the barrenness, the emptiness. And
is held down.
Is held down.
Bubbles are
they keep going up.
They're carbon ascending, a carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Precious, it's so good to see you. How are you, brother? By the way, you're mute.
You got it. Baruch Hashem.
Where are you?
Williamsburg.
Chazak. Even in Williamsburg, there's
Amash. Getting the Purim right in the Clippers. Right in the Kabbalah Puni.
So good. Everybody, thank you everybody for joining. Zahava, glad that you joined. Shira, Tovi, L'chaim Chevra. We got to get back to Beit Shemesh.